Hey, how you doing? This is Diesel with Jeep Style, and I've got the next victim. That's right. I'm going to show you what we're going to do, and it's going to be another successful job. Are you ready? All right, here we go. It does have my favorite suspension company, but the shop that actually put it together has the frame side joints on the axle. So we are going to swap those arms side to side because they are bent on the TJs. They're bent to clear the frame. This is a long arm kit. But one of the main things we're going to do is when the coilovers got mounted, they got mounted at ride heights. It is kind of tall and there is absolutely zero wheel travel. It's all down, no up. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut off all this. This is the bracket that the stock shock mounted. This were the brackets welded to house the coilover. I'm gonna eliminate this on both sides. We can look at this side. So we will eliminate this whole mount and we're gonna drop it down probably from here to here, maybe 2.5 inches if we can. We want to make sure we can get the bolt and be able to service the lower control arm. We're going to be able to make sure that we can clear the brake caliper when we go to turn, so that will decide how far we're going to lower it. But I know we can definitely get a good 2 inches, and then we can adjust a coilover. You can see how it's maxed out. We can adjust that down to where we'll have about 3.5 inches of up travel, which right now we only have about 1 inch. So it's gonna be great, and we'll let you know how it turns out, why we're doing it. All right, we're ready to actually make our coilover mounts. When I'm drawing on template paper, I always use template paper. And once we make one side, it should work for all 4 tabs. And when you make a template, get creative. Look around the house and you can find all kinds of stuff to trace. We got a straight edge here, or you could use your scissors if you need an angle. It'd almost be even an angle finder. You put it up on your device, hold it, put it down and trace it, and it will give you your angle. So get creative when you're making your templates. And yeah, household items will really work good on getting a straight line, and it will help you out quite a bit. Okay, so I got the old bracket cut off. So I'm just going to show you where it fits in here. And then we'll just get a rough estimate. My goal is 2.5, but up to 2 inches would be awesome. So we're going to measure from the center of this hole to the center of this bolt. We're about 5 inches. From this hole to the lower control arm, about 5 inches. So with my template paper, it looks pretty basic, but the tolerances are actually super tight. So this is my goal. We're going to weld this on here, and then we're going to cap it to help hold it together and tie it into the R-Tech truss. Now, the one thing we got to be careful of is, one, let's check to see how much we got. We're about just under 2 3/4, so that gives us maybe 2.25 inches, which is super great. 2 inches of extra travel, you know how big that is. The one thing that is concerning is once we mount the coilover onto the mount, before you go and weld everything up, you need to cycle the steering. So you can see it is going to be super tight. With the brake line, what we're going to have to do is probably replace this with the Rock Crawler updated line that has the metal at the caliper, so I can be able to manipulate that for clearance. But this is going to be super tight. The top of the coilover is going to come pretty close to the caliper. but that distance will never change, and obviously it will be further away. It's only at the very max turning radius that we're gonna get close. But when you get your suspension and you take it to these extremes, your clearances go from very easy to super tight, and this is going to be a super tight clearance. But I think we got our template paper to make our brackets to put it right where we need to be, and yeah, I'm going to hit the grinder and cut these out. So I'm cutting out these pieces for this coilover mount. I prefer the old school grinder, cutoff wheel, and flapper disc. And so I got 3 of them made. This is the 4th one. So when I get it close, I'm gonna put all 4 of them together and then grind them so they all look the same. Drill a hole, and it should look really good when it goes in. Basically start with a flat strap, grind it up, cut it, take your time, and yeah, we'll get this welded in and see how it turns out. We're getting ready to weld on this mount, and you can see it looks really good. I'm really happy with the way it turns out. The clearance is going to be gnarly as soon as we get the straight metal brake line. So I ran into a dilemma. Either I wanted to weld this on the bench and then install it, but then that's actually going to limit the amount of welding on this inner piece. And if I weld the inner piece on and weld it up like this first, when I put this cap on, it's going to eliminate the welding to actually hold it on this clamp. So it's like you're going to have to pick one of the evils. So what I'm going to do is I really think I should be able to get under both sides to weld this when it's all welded up. So I'm going to take this to the bench, weld it up like this, and then take my chance and weld it on the axle. I think that's going to be our best bet. So cross your fingers, we'll see what happens. Alright, so we got the driver's side mounts done, fixed, changed, and I'm really happy with it. And so we left this side alone so we can show you exactly what we were looking at when this Jeep first came in. Basically, the problems are the coilovers. So you can see we have not even an inch. We have maybe 3/4 of an inch of up travel. So when you're driving down the normal road and you hit even a speed bump or a dip in the road, railroad tracks, that whole front end's just bottoming out. So we wanted to lower the mount. So we'll go to this other side and you can see how much travel we have now. We have well over 2 inches, probably close to 3.5 inches of up travel. Now we're going to sacrifice a little bit of droop, but it's all right. I mean, this thing is drooping really well, and the trade-off is well worth what we're going to get. Especially you don't want to be bottoming out. So the mount looks good. It's a double shear. It's I don't know if you can see in there. We just got to paint it. We had to do some clearance, and it is super tight when you turn the wheel. So the clearances are great. The mount turned out great. So we're really happy with it. So with that said, we're going to do the other side and drive this thing. And yeah, it's a quick tip on what to look for and how to fix it. All right, this is Diesel with Jeep Style. Hope you enjoyed.